All right, so if anyone knows me, then you'll know I absolutely love reading manga. And one of the series that I wanted to get into for the longest time was actually one that it was inevitable for me to get on eventually. Somebody commented on a YouTube video of mine back in the past about it and wanted me to read it, and I'm here to talk about it. Finally, for some people, maybe I'm a little bit late to the boat, but what else is new? And that manga is Sakamoto Days. And the only reason why I want to talk about it, and because I'm only so far into one volume, was because This is one of those shorthand mangas that I know I'm gonna enjoy throughout multiple volumes, and I know for sure it was a good decision to cop the first volume and continue to read, and I will be continuing to read this. It gave me the same vibes as One Punch Man when I first started reading One Punch Man. A lot of people were recommending it to me at the time. At the time, people were like, "You're going to love One Punch Man," and so I was like, inevitably, eventually, I will get to that manga, and when I do, I will see whether or not that's the case. And like I said, the same thing was here for Sakamoto Days. A lot of people saying that this manga was just amazing. The story is great. You're gonna really enjoy it. Again, like I said, like people just hyping it up, and for good reason, because it's solid. It legitimately is a solid manga, and I thought, what best time before they drop an anime for me to get into it and get ahead of the anime. Which, funny enough, speaking of anime, I guess Netflix themselves got the rights to Sakamoto Days and are going to be making a adaptation of the manga, which a lot of people, possibly including me as well, are not that excited about it, considering the fact that, it's either a 50-50 hit or miss, considering that a lot of the bigger studios already have multiple projects in their hands. You got Jujutsu Kaisen with Mappa. I mean, Attack on Titan was with Mappa. I mean, you have Vinland Saga, which I'm still waiting for a season 3, possibly still with Mappa. You got Studio Bones that had and finally finished Mob Psycho, but they also still have My Hero Academia, and the list goes on and on and on. You can't just hand one of these to Toei either, because Dragon Ball and One Piece are their two prized jewels. So where does Sakamoto Days fit into all of this stuff, considering that it's considered one of the new gen manga? Well, it just goes straight to Netflix, and I'm just hoping that they don't mess it up. This is definitely a manga that I haven't felt like could be a big thing from an anime adaptation, other than Kaiju number 8 when I started reading that. But I feel like Sakamoto Days revved up to 100 a lot faster than Kaiju number 8 did. And I honestly am just a little bit surprised that they're just now going to do an anime adaptation. I thought that they already had one. And when I didn't see that they did, that's why I started reading the manga and I started getting into it. It's interesting because Netflix taking it over, and whatever studio, I don't remember the studio's name, taking it over, it's going to be interesting to see what ends up happening. I know there's a track record with the studio from a different anime that did CG, and a lot of people are worried that they're going to introduce CG for this, and they don't want that because the CG could end up being really, really bad. But pivoting back to just the manga in general, I think this manga is definitely something that you should pick up yourself. Regardless of whether the anime is going to turn out good or bad or horrendously, outlandishly, disrespectfully terrible, I think definitely reading the source material, reading the manga, is definitely the way to go regardless. I only say that because sometimes anime adaptations don't do a story justice, even though, we live in an age where everyone wants it to be one-to-one. But one of the things I enjoy about certain anime adaptations, they flesh out certain scenes that your brain fleshes it out when you're reading it in the manga. But when you want to see an anime adaptation, you kind of want to see a scene fleshed out a little bit, and the pacing sort of fixed for an anime release versus when you're reading it in a manga. It's a lot different. The vibe's different. It's not the same. So I'm being curious to see with Sakamoto, because I feel like the pacing for Sakamoto Days is actually really good for both manga and anime. I don't think you can really mess this up. pacing wise, that is, because animation wise, we'll see where this goes. I mean, Chainsaw Man's another one that comes to mind. Is a very popular one that skyrocketed to 100 as well, but that got picked up instantly by Studio Mappa. I thought Sakamoto Days was going to join Jujutsu Kaisen and Chainsaw Man and go there, but alas, that's not the case. Regardless, I think the manga is really fun. I love Sakamoto as a main character. He's one of the better main characters to follow. I love that he has this this impeccable sort of look to him, and I don't know if impeccable is the right word, but he has this sort of like, I guess, design. The design of Sakamoto is so good because it's like you see the glasses, you see the mustache, you see the head shape, and you instantly know that that's Sakamoto. It does, like it's just perfect design, perfect choice of character design, and it's a good character in general, especially considering that his right hand man can read minds, and Sakamoto doesn't really speak that much per se. He really speaks with his mind, and so having a character that could read minds, there's another set of dialogue going on top of the regular dialogue, which makes the story even that much more fun to read. But yeah, I'm thoroughly enjoying Sakamoto Days. I don't have much to say other than let you guys know that I'm probably going to be covering it, considering that I'm going to be reading a lot more of it here in the near future. And I will be covering the anime when that drops. And this is forewarning, because if the anime sucks, I will definitely let you know. I'm just going to be interested to see what happens, because like I said, I'm surprised, it didn't go to Studio Bones or one of these other big studios, considering that this is Sakamoto Days and it did really well. But that gives me a little bit of fear for Kagurabaki, a manga that I've covered here on the channel, that I hope gets a solid anime out of it. And I feel like that it deserves the Kaiju number 8 treatment as well. I think it's on the same sort of level. But that's for another video anyways. I don't know why I'm rambling on. This was just for Sakamoto Days, and letting you guys know that yes, not one, but two thumbs up for Sakamoto Days.